Down the lens?
Yep.
We're WH Long. This is the Live4ever Media Lounge.
Great. Super. One take.
We're working with professionals. I was 11 years old and my sister sat on the guitar neck and I wasn't allowed a new one. So that ended my dreams of being a guitar hero. I played piano growing up. I was kind of took some grades and stuff, but I always liked singing the most, really. I had a karaoke machine and I just, from a very young age, would lock myself in the room with the karaoke machine and sing These Boots Are Made for Walking and Starry Starry Night, which my mum actually came into the room when I was doing that and she said, it's not as good as the original, is it? I don't know if that's a selected misremembering, but maybe it drove me on to prove it wrong. And we'll be covering that tonight better than it ever was. But I just always liked performing in any capacity, really, yeah.
We played together because we went to the same school, like when we were teenagers and stuff. So I played drums at first. And yeah, my dad played guitar, and I remember just like using his around the house and stuff like that. But then later on, like meeting Chris and like in Chris's studio as well, like, and we talked more about like electronic music and stuff. And then even like Andy, our manager, like showed us more sort of electronic stuff, and then stuff just shifts just from who you meet. So like, yeah, I play guitar, but then just try and pick up the odd thing, like usually like electronic stuff. Early on, it was definitely very guitar based, I think.
Like what Tom said, Chris is like, you know, we're all going to kind of the same parties and stuff back home and trying to go and see some really good electronic music and have a good dance.
Yeah.
And then Tom and Chris working in the studio on like some of their own electronic music and stuff it's kind of fed into all of us, and now it's like, you know, we'll go on a trip to go and see someone and have a good night out and all that kind of thing. So I think it does feed in to what we're doing. And Chris has his own studio. Yeah, when you're part of like a group that's all, you feed off each other, and him doing that for us, and then us all like working together on that it's really cool.
So that's how I got involved with the band initially. I was recording a few bands in Leeds, and I think we'd been in each other's orbit quite a while. Yeah. And then was put in touch originally as a guitarist. Now I'm playing bass. Yes, that's how we get involved.
Yeah, it was just kind of, I got involved in a similar way through different circumstances where I had a connection with Matt, who's produced both the WH Long records, because I've drummed for him for other stuff, and he said, do you want to do this for a recording session? I've never met Tom or Joe before, and I recorded a couple of tunes, and then I was like, this is really good, can I do a bit more? And then there's some gigs got offered, and that was right at the beginning, and it was like,
I remember when that happened.
So nice, it's really nice to remember that.
Yeah. Early on, we were probably listening to a lot of like Brian Jamestown Massacre and stuff like that. And then sort of from that, just played in bands in Leeds. We had a band before this. And then, yeah, a lot of there's a lot going on in Leeds at that time. It was about 2014. And I remember Eagles were quite an exciting band. It was stuff like that, like not necessarily musically either, just that a band that like, we didn't know it, but you could just see them around Leeds, and then they'd be on Letterman or do South by Southwest.
Yeah, they were always this brooding presence in Wax Bar with their long coats and big boots, and they'd been on Letterman, and everyone was like, it's Eagles, and look at them. It was very exciting.
Or when I was a bit younger, I sort of like was maybe a bit naive and like I was like, oh, I'm not really into that sort of thing. And then just sort of was a bit more open-minded about it. And there was just a few, like, I don't know, some of like a DJ like Helena Houth or like a producer, like I remember her just saying that she grew up listening to The Cure and stuff. It was like, oh yes, well, we did that as well. And we make up, and then it just seemed like, I don't know, it wasn't like two distinctive things at all.
It just made sense in the set, and you think there doesn't have to be two distinct properties, which is electronic music and guitar music. You can do what you want, and it's just whatever's taking your particular inspiration at the time. You just roll with that. And so it might even be that whatever this next album turns out to be is another departure from this journey we're on now. You're filled up with the music you're listening to or the wider influences that you're being exposed to, and whatever comes out, it's just your job not to get in the way of it. I try and kind of tell a story with each song that we're doing in some movement sense.
Right.
I've also just spent a year at drama school, so I'm not being very drama school about it all. But I just enjoy being strange. If you dance the weirdest in the room, it gives everyone else the liberty to do what they want to as well. If you look strange, it's fun and it's fine for everyone else to have a move on as well. But I just enjoy connecting with something that takes you a bit further than just the songs as they were written, telling a slightly different story than the story of the lyrical content, you know. I feel like it's quite important. And what we found, I don't know about if you guys thought this as well, but you get so much for an American audience as well. Last night at Hotel Vegas, it was nuts. Like, you get in and everyone's almost, they like pick up the mantle and they go, okay, let's have a good time now. It's generating the energy in the room.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I always feel quite not strongly on this because when people say Manchester's stuck in its past or whatever, I don't think it is. I think people talk like, because people are obviously going to still listen to like the Smiths records and stuff because they're like really good and they're really popular. But there's so much going on in Manchester now, and I think the best thing about it is there's always been like an underground scene, or just something like the way that things are done. Like, it is like a big cliche, like the factory records thing, but it's such like, it's a cool story, isn't it? Because it was just started in like a little flat, and they did so much. And like now it might be like the White Hotel, and even like, I don't know, like we saw George Riley the other day, and she had that song with Ans, who's a Manchester producer, and we'll sort of play around the White Hotel a lot, and so it's pushing out like really good producers and really good names now.
Right.
I think that's the best thing about it. I think there is like a bit of like over nostalgia, definitely, but you're gonna get that anyway. It's like we went to see our mate in Stratford and they're obsessed with Shakespeare, but it's obviously gonna be the case. Like, you still get it.
Stratford's stuck in the past.
Stuck in the past. Don't go to Stratford. But you know what I mean? Like with Manchester, the best thing about it is like that there's like an underground scene, but there is in Leeds as well, and there is like, that's the most important thing, I think. Like, no matter what it is, just like there's people that are doing it for like good reasons, which you get in Manchester, you get in Leeds.
It feels like we're on a roll again now, and it's just a blessing to be able to continue. Every new show we're getting better and tighter, and we're exploring more and being more playful. So just hope that we can keep going, everyone can keep going and keep safely attending gigs and playing. And
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean for the bands, so the bands can carry on the journey of getting in front of audiences again. Because it was a long time, it was 20 months in between one gig and our first one back. And it's a practice playing live music. And I'm sure that was the case for everyone. I mean, we're lucky enough that all these guys are incredible musicians, so that makes your life easier. But it's a practice in terms of knowing how to connect with an audience and knowing how to connect with your music. And as you play more, you get better. So hopefully we can, you know, as a musical community, continue this trend of the world opening up more. it's excitable here. Maybe it's the spirit of the festival, but we found the crowd to be very excitable. If you make an offer, it will get picked up. So if you get in amongst them and you have a dance, there's no turning back, and that's the end of the night. Maybe in the UK there's a little bit more caution in the crowd.
Yeah,
I don't know, I think it depends on the venue.
It depends on the venue. Leeds was brilliant.
Yeah.
that was an instant disco, wasn't it? But maybe it's the spirit of the festival that we found. We've been very much welcomed here, and the crowds have been very responsive, which it makes a difference. You feed off that energy and you make something together that's bigger than the music itself.
Give me the new